Bobby Brown committing on Friday. Bobby Brown, a four-star defensive tackle from Lamar High School, Arlington, Texas, will announce his commitment in just a few hours. Brown will announce his decision at some point between 11:30 a.m. and 12:06 p.m. Eastern Time, according to 247 Sports. The reason for the specific time period is because that's when he has a free period during school. Brown has been Alabama's top defensive tackle target since the summer, when he visited for the team's defensive line camp. Brown spoke with SecCountry over the summer and told us he had a private leader. From talking with sources and gathering info during that conversation, it was clear that Alabama was that private leader during the summer. "I like being successful and I like working hard," Brown said at the time. "When I went on that visit, all I saw was success and hard work. That's what caught my eye." Since then, other teams have gained ground on the Crimson Tide. Oklahoma, Texas, and Texas A&M are the top contenders, along with Alabama, to land Brown's commitment. The 6'4", 282-pound prospect visited Tuscaloosa this past weekend for the Tennessee game and was originally set to announce his commitment on November 2nd. He announced on Thursday that he was now going to commit on Friday. The decision to move up his commitment caught the Alabama staff off guard, according to people I talked to around the program. Usually, when a recruit moves up his decision to commit after visiting one of his top schools, it's good news. However, there is some concern on Alabama's end with Brown committing now instead of next week. Brown told SecCountry that he's still planning on taking his official visit to Texas A&M this weekend. It will be odd if he chooses to commit to Alabama and then goes through with his visit to Texas A&M, a school that also has confidence in landing Brown, on the same day. Just 2 weeks ago, prior to Brown visiting Alabama, I was told that the coaching staff expected to land Brown's commitment. I checked back in with the same source after he and his mother visited Tuscaloosa this past weekend and was told the visit couldn't have gone any better. Now, there isn't that same confidence that was expressed to me just a few days ago, mainly because Brown is planning on visiting a top contender on the day he announces his decision. Perhaps he moved up his decision in order to visit College Station this weekend as a committed player. We'll see in a few hours. What Alabama has going for it is outside linebackers coach Tosh Lupoy, Brown's primary recruiter. Lupoy is arguably the best recruiter on the Tide staff outside of Coach Nick Saban himself. "I have a really good relationship with Coach Tosh," Brown said. "He's a really energized coach. I can tell he loves the game of football." The nation's number 14 defensive tackle also is aware that Alabama is in need of several interior linemen in this class. But early playing time isn't a necessity to him. He knows wherever he goes that he'll have to put in the work to see the field. "Early playing time is guaranteed to nobody," Brown said. "Coaches can say that, and it may not be true. So, that's not a factor for me at all. When coaches tell me that, it goes in one ear and out the other." There's also some comfortability at Alabama. Redshirt freshman offensive lineman Chris Owens is a former high school teammate of Brown's. Those two still talk to each other and hung out this past weekend, but Brown would not disclose what he and Owens have discussed regarding Alabama. Those two used to go against each other in practice every day. Owens usually got the best of him. "The harder you get hit, the harder you have to hit back," Brown said with a laugh when asked what he learned from Owens. "He won the majority of the battles back then. He was just so powerful. I was only a sophomore at the time, so he was much stronger than me." If Brown commits elsewhere, this would be a big loss for the Tide because of how much confidence the team had coming out of his trip this past weekend.